Hey y'all, happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well. I'm Bradley Deniston. This is Radium Records here in Hollywood, California. And I'm going to be diving back into my session here. If you're watching the replay right now, welcome. Welcome to the channel. We're going to be going through some Logic Pro stuff. If you're, well, a lot of stuff actually. It's going to be in Logic Pro, but we're going to be mixing a lot, producing, kind of talking about my latest single I'm working on right now. So if you like indie soul, pop, retro soul, funk, disco kind of stuff, live instrumentation, horns, drums, bass, guitar players, vocals, etc., you're in the right spot. If you don't like any of that stuff, then go ahead and fuck right off. All right, let's dive in. And if you're live right now on the stream, say what's up. Don't be a creep. Don't be a mouth breather. Just say hi. You know what I mean? Hey, yo. Royal Music, what's up, man? All right, cool. So, yeah, let's dive into Logic and see where we left off here. I have the drums pretty close to where I like them. I'll quickly recap what I was doing and working on yesterday with these drums before we start to stack other layers and everything. But before I do all that, let's just play a little snippet of the intro going into the first verse, right? So you guys can hear what we're dealing with. All right, so yeah, kind of a soul, retro, pop kind of vibe. Next single I'll probably release. I just finished up the artwork and everything for it, so pretty stoked on it. I love this kind of feel-good vibe. That's what I'm feeling right now, I think, because spring is hitting in LA. You know, it's like 75 out. It's just beautiful, and, you know, I'm feeling like whistling and fucking going to the park and playing with my dogs and shit. So that's the vibe. Yo, Jamaica's in the house. That's what's up. Rasta. All right, cool. So let's pop back in and kind of talk about what we did with the drums here. So all the drums are live. These are all live, played by Kip Allen. He's out of Nashville. And then I also, every time I have a drummer cut drums, I have them do samples of everything at the end of the drums. So you can see all of this is just samples of, let's just kind of zoom in on the waveform. These are all samples of different hits, right? So it could be the kick, could be the snare, etc. And I just have them do that. So if I need to replace anything or, you know, come in and do my own programming on something, like, for example, I want a crash cymbal there, but he didn't play a crash cymbal, I can grab all that right here from any of these hits. So they sound like this, just to play them really quickly, not waste a whole lot of time on that, but check it out. Right, so a bunch of different vibes there. So what I have here is the drums. Obviously, I'm going to kind of clip these out and move all these kind of free takes here, these samples. Just kind of move them so that I'm not thinking about that, because that looks weird to me. I have a little bass player here I'm going to delete, and I'm going to go through right now and just kind of clean up a little bit. This dance floor bass, I wasn't using that. And yeah, that's about it really. And then these bongos. So I want to get the bongos in, but I don't think I want to put them in everywhere. But before I get into all that, I'm going to just kind of take you guys through what I did with the drums here. So I have the kick in and out, and let's go to the mixer here so you can really kind of see what's going on. Kick in and out. We got some REQ, Pro Q4, etc. On here, R-Comp, Transient Designer. On the in, on the out, just Pro Q4 and some R-Comp. And then snare, I have some Pro Q4 taking out some kind of like the boom, you know, the coo, that kind of stuff. And Yeah, not much, man. This other thing I'm doing here is just kind of adding some 1K in there on the snare and some 5K to give it some crack, baby. And then the 1176, of course, is going to always give you some snap and attack to your snare drum. And then hi-hats, yeah, giving a little boost there. Stereo overheads, just kind of taking out some of the papery stuff, bringing up some of the sizzle, the top. In the hi-hats and the cymbals usually is what that's going to bring out the most. And then what do we got? On a crush mic, I've done some crazy shit, but I'll let you kind of hear this. This crush mic I think sounded too papery, too 2K, and like, yeah, it just didn't sound fat enough for me. So that is just really giving me like mid-range, mid-range and punchy low stuff that's kind of distorted. And honestly, with the crush mic, I would even go in here and distort it even more after I've EQ'd it. So this is something I do often that a lot of people don't talk about. And I don't know why they don't talk about it, to be honest. So you can do this kind of you can do it a lot of different ways, right? Like there's a million ways to skin a cat, right? I hate that saying, but kind of pertains to what we do in mixing and production. You could do things a million ways, and that's why I really hate when people reply on, content I make where I'm like showing something and they're like, you could also use this, you could also do this, you could also do this. And I'm like, fucking duh, we get that. But I'm showing you one way to do it on the content. So that's it, right? I'm not trying to tell you this is the only way to do it, right? But here's the way I would do this, because I already have this EQ'd. In the curve here, like if I bypass this and play it, right? It's when it's off, it focuses more on the hi-hats and the snare drum, right? When it's on, the EQ's on, it focuses more on a balance between the kick and the snare. So it's just a and then it's off and it's going, and you don't hear the kick as much or whatever. So having that EQ curve, imagine now I'm going to drive that into some distortion. You can use a lot of different things to distort. There are a million ways to distort something. I have tape machines. I have distortion plugins, saturation plugins. You have tube, right? Tube distortion. And of course, all of this stuff is going to be in plugin format. So you're really just like modeling and mimicking hardware units that would be doing this sort of thing, right? But you could use something like Saturn 2. You could use, I'm just going to kind of give you some options here, because I don't want you to think like, oh, there's one way to do this and you should just hit it with distortion or hit it with a tape machine, right? There's so many different ways to get distortion. You could even, go through like clipping the input or output transformer to a Neve preamp. There's just a ton of ways to do it. So what I really like is this Harmonix Analog Saturation Pro. This is kind of what I have in my head. And I think it's just because I know the sound of this and I know what to expect out of it. Orange Clip is a good one too. You could use Orange Clip to do this sort of thing. But right now I'm going to use this. And what we have is solid state. We have transformer. We have master bus distortion, tube distortion, and modern. And then we have our dynamic section, our drive section, character, and then we have some like filtering options, okay? So I'm just going to drive into this and I'm going to take the dynamics down. So it's going to be very, almost like limited, like compress limited. If I bring it up, it's going to be like more dynamic, right? You're going to have more lows, more highs. If you bring this down, you're just going like taking it and going shoop like that, right? So let's listen to this. right? And when I'm using something like this, like any sort of harmonics, drive, distortion, etc., I want to A/B this in the mix with the drums, right? I don't want to sit here and solo this. I'm going to turn the drive up so you guys can really hear it. The character is going to be like brighter or darker, okay? And I might want to stay in the darker area or in the middle here somewhere. So I'm going to, the transformer I like is like really fat sounding, right? The tube, you're going to get those harmonics on the top and the mids, right? And then the master, this is kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but they all just sound a little bit different harmonically. I'm going to go with the transformer for now. Right? It's just kind of grimy and dirty, which sounds really cool to me. Now let's pop it in the mix with the rest of the kit. Right, and I'm just accentuating that a little bit more so you can really hear it, but that's really what it's doing. It's just adding this like thickness to the drums and a crunch, right? And if you feel like when you bring that up, oh, you're getting too much top still, right? You can use these filters, which are really cool. So you can do it post or pre. Post would be after you distort. Pre would be before you distort, right? So let's do it post, and let's go to the filter kind of steeper, like mid-steep here, and let's cut. Let's start to roll out the top, and you'll see what happens. It's really interesting. You get like this new texture and this new drive. Like, I love like the gritty mid-range drive of drums. I think that always sounds really cool, especially when you blend it in with like that low sub and punch of the kick drum and clean stuff, right? Like really clean, do, right? And then you got this, you know? It all kind of blends together and gives you this harmonic masterpiece. It just melds together. All right, so let's check this. All right, so now we have like this kind of band past, you know, you have all the low stuff, all the sub stuff kind of coming out and all the top stuff coming out. And you just have like this driven mid-range, low mids kind of thing, which is really cool to me. And let's just mix this into the drums. Right, so now we have these like really kind of distorted, crunchy, saturated kind of drums, and maybe it's too much, you know, who knows? It's all up to you. It's all your taste, however you want to do it. You can always just like, you know, you can back off, you could blend back, you can blend up. It's all however you want to do it, really. So now I'm just going to kind of like give the, make sure that the drum room and everything is how I like it. So let's just kind of solo everything here and try to get the room of the drum sounding good. I mean, I think that sounds pretty damn good. Let's make sure they're all going to the room as well. So we have that going to bus 10, I believe. Right? So this is bus 10 going to the UAD Ocean Way. And then the bus 10 is blending back in with the other drums. So you can see they're going to bus 9 as well. So it's like all together, right? To the drum mix bus. So this is going to be our drum room. I'm going to bypass this in and out so you can hear the drum room difference. Right, just kind of opens it up a little bit. And if you want bigger drums, you probably want to move the mics back a little bit, or you know, mess around with this blend. So these are the tight distance, right? So you could take this down and you could bring this up if you wanted a bigger room sound, right? And you could also mess around with the distance here. So maybe pull these back a little bit. It's just up to you how big you want your room to be. All right, so a lot of the times to set the levels of the drums, you can see that I'm messing around with the drum mix bus, and I'm just kind of pulling it up and down pretty much, right? And I turned it down quite a bit because the drums were really loud, and I was having the drums up loud for a reason because I'm trying to hear the kit together, right? But once you get it to a certain point, now you want it to fit in the mix. So you got to put it into the mix, right? So the way I do that a lot of the times is I'll turn my monitors really low, right? Like where it's like talking level, like this loud, as I'm talking right now. And this microphone's compressed and all that shit. But, you know, I'm talking pretty normal volume. And then I will start to blend in and go, okay, am I losing anything when I'm turning the drums up? Am I losing the vocal? Am I losing, is it stepping on anything, etc.? Okay, yeah, it's getting too loud. Okay, I'll just keep pulling it down until I feel like, okay, that's a good balance, even when the volume's really low. And then I'll turn the volume back up and I'll go, okay, how does that hit? Does it feel right? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing. And then also, I feel like there is a buildup of some low mids, you know, now that I do have this crush mic, doing some harmonic distortion and all that stuff. So I'm just going to kind of balance it back out a little bit more so that I have kind of the low stuff, the low sub punch, 80 hertz, 50 hertz, 40 hertz kind of vibe. And then I have the top kind of mid kind of stuff, but that low mid area, here I'll show you kind of like with an EQ. I'm going to mess around with this low mid area here because it's getting chunky and like not in a musical way. It's feeling a little too weird, and it's really like in here. Okay. So this is where I'm going to be focusing, like the 100 to kind of 500 area is where I feel like it's building up a little too much. Now I feel like that's more set in the mix. Just getting kind of some of that low mid stuff cleaned up a little bit. And you can do that a lot of different ways. Obviously, you don't have to just use an EQ. Pro Q4 also has a cool feature where you can go down here and you can make this a spectral. So this kind of treats it like Soothe 2 would treat it, right? Where anything that's peaky, it's going to take down just the peaks in this area, which is a really cool feature. And I'll show you how that works right now. So this is what this looks like. So now what this is saying is anytime it crosses a threshold, we're going to turn down the peak resonant frequencies, right? So if there's something that's really resonating, it's peaking out, it's just going to tame those frequencies down when it's too much, as opposed to getting rid of those frequencies completely with an EQ. And this can be a more musical way to make things happen because the ear doesn't detect those small little peak resonance getting tucked down. But the ear might detect that you're missing a frequency in the drums, right? Like, hey, where's the 100 punch in there? Where's that 150? Like, why am I not getting that thing in my chest? You know what I mean? So this will just kind of do that a little bit differently. And you can do that really well with the low end as well on this spectral kind of idea. For example, instead of like doing what I'm doing here, and let's say I had too much buildup and it was clipping out my mix bus or my master bus on the low end, you know, like a sub does, an 808 does, kick drum does, you know, etc. I could go here and turn this into a shelf and get rid of this guy here. And then I'll take this shelf here and I will just make it a 0 pretty much. I'm not going to like do any boosting or cutting here. And I'll turn this into a spectral, make spectral. And now when it crosses the threshold, it's going to turn down the spectral frequencies that are too much, the peaky resonant frequencies. So you'll see as we hit the low end sub stuff. All right, and what I'm doing here, just to show you a little bit more in detail and go more in detail with this idea, when we click on this band here, we get some other options if we expand this out. So if I expand this little arrow here, I get attack on the bands, which is really cool. So you can see band 2 spectral density. Okay, so how much do you want it to like take down all the resonant peaks, right? Do you want it to be a lot, or do you want it to just be the main peak? If that makes sense. So smoother. So if you want to, here, I'll show you what that does. If I go down or if I go up. So it's the density of it, meaning how much, how full the frequencies are, etc. Okay, and then this is the big stuff, is the attack and release. So you have 100% attack, or you can go to 0%, which will be really fast. And watch what happens with the kick when I go to 0. right? So if you're trying to sidechain a bass with a kick and you're trying to do kind of the Soothe 2 trick, you could do it like this with Pro Q4, which is really, really dope. And yeah, I'm not going to do that much, obviously. But if you also want to just be really subtle, you can take this back to 50%, and then you can use this really slow. So it's like anything like, for example, if you have like cinematic kind of hit where it's like that big low sub thing, you can kind of tickle the sub so it kind of tucks it down when it's too much on the release or whatever. And you can slow down the release as well. So it can hold that sub even more down so it's not clipping the master bus. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just kind of like, you know, cleaning up the low end, but I don't really feel like these drums need this. I'm just showing you guys this, this idea. So maybe for this, I would go like down to like the sub stuff just to keep it in check. But I actually want a little bit more of like the 40 to 50 hertz in this kick drum. And what I'm hearing is like when the toms hit, they're maybe a little too much. I'll just turn them down. All right, so it's starting to feel like cohesive and yeah, it's starting to feel like a record more with these drums now. That's really kind of what I'm going for. I want to take all these claps and send them to the parallel compression just to see how it can thicken up the just thicken up the claps and also get them in the same room as well as the other drums. So the drum room bus, I'm going to just kind of hit it with that, and then I'm going to hit it with some of this parallel compression. So maybe not full on with this one, but let's try it out. All right, so another thing I want to do is with these toms, I think I'm going to gate them. The reason I'm going to gate them is because I think they're adding too much color to the full drum kit, which is making it too chunky and, you know, just not defined enough for me, for my ear right now. So best way for me to do the drum gating is I'll just use like Pro G, you know, Fab Filter. I really just love this gate. I think it's really good. Just go Pro G on this B-ish. And honestly, right when you start out, it's pretty damn good. Like literally, there you go, dude. Like it's so simple to set. Like I love that gate. Also, the Steven Slate trigger too. You can just use the gate on that, and it's fucking incredible. So like, check it out now. How much more sort of, I guess, noise floor, whatever else we're just kind of gating out and getting rid of, which is it's really nice. It kind of cleans the drums up, I'm sure.
I'm on my way. Gonna put a smile back on my face. I know that the seasons are gonna change. Oh, so I'm coming back.
Just a little bit more cleanliness. You know what I mean? Hey, thanks, dude. Appreciate that, bro. Best distortion, Moog Drive. Yeah, Moog is good. I always like the Moog stuff, obviously. Matriarch, baby. Matriarch for the win. Did I miss about anything about mixing $1 million drums? Yeah, dude, probably. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. That's what's up. Yeah, I write all my own songs for sure. Produce them, record them, mix and master them. For the most part, I try really hard to not do everything, you know, because then I get in my head about stuff, you know what I mean? It'll stop you. So always get help, right? Like I got drummers on this. I got a guitar player. Actually, I played all the guitars on this, but, you know, I get other players and other people involved sometimes, just to get out of my head a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to just do everything on your own. The only reason I do everything on my own is because I've been doing this for 27, 28 years, you know. It'd be a lot different. I think in hindsight, when I was first starting out, first 5, 10 years in music, I would have just had as many people as possible helping me. You know, I would have just spent all my money on getting people to help me. Producers, vocal coaches, mixing and mastering engineers, vocal producers, songwriters, like anybody and everybody. Because I would be so much further right now than, I would be way further along if I would have done that up front. But, you know, it's like I wanted to learn all this stuff. But it's like now technology moves so fast that it took care of all this stuff that I learned, you know? Like I learned all this stuff, how to like, you know, engineer like 70s engineering, you know what I mean? Running consoles and shit. And none of that is like relevant anymore. You know, we got AI tools and plugins and computers that have 16 core CPUs and shit in them. And, you know, you can run full sessions and this is all mixed in the box. And it sounds like, you know, I can make this sound like it was going through tape machines and analog compressors and EQs and Neves and everything and anything in between. And I think we're just in a different world now. I'm glad I learned all the stuff I did, but honestly, like I could be so much further along in my artist career, in my production career, etc., if I would have just got a lot more help, you know. But yeah, it's like hindsight's 2020 always, right? So let's pop the bass in with these drums because I'm like really interested in hearing what these sound like all together. Ooh, these bongos like really give it some like different groove, you feel me? So maybe on these, what I want to do is just like a touch of heat on them. Heat wave. This plugin's so sick. So good for this kind of shit. So check this out. I'm just going to like hit it with a little bit of heat, baby. All right, so what I'm gonna do now with these bongos, because I really like them, I just want to trim out some fat, if you will. Just this chunky monkey stuff in here. I want them to be just like more of the fingers, you know? Just gives a little bit more bounce, you know what I mean? Just a little bouncy babies. You know, you got your baby and you're like bouncing it. I don't know. I don't have any kids. Fuck having babies, bro. I appreciate y'all having babies, but yeah, I got dogs. I'm good. Yeah, dude. Good to see you. JT Fuller in the house, baby. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't feel like there's like an arrival point. I've pretty much figured out that there is none. I've never felt like I'm not where I want to be, or I haven't arrived to where I'm trying to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm just constantly enjoying the process of growth and like just putting out songs and sharing shit with people. Like doing these live streams, I pay to do this. This is out of my pocket. Slows my workflow down, but I get to hang out with you guys. And I like this. This is a big part of just having fun and sharing the music in the process with people, because I wish I had that when I was, when I was 5 years in, and like, oh, I wish I could just jump on YouTube and watch someone stream their workflow of producing a song. That would be crazy to me, man. Like, I didn't get that. When I started in music, like heavy in music, I was like 18. I was in bands and shit, and playing bands and playing live and out in Portland, Oregon and stuff. And by the time I was like 25 years old, yeah, we just didn't have all this. We didn't have all this YouTube and all these creators and producers and top guys like showing their shit. Like, that didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, as far as like, arriving somewhere, I feel like there's just like arrival points all along the way. I hit sync licensing placements. I've got Grammy nominated work out there. I got Golden Globe nominated work. Platinum records, I've done a bunch of stuff. It's not, you never really arrive, if that makes sense. I feel like it's, you just want to keep going. It's just fun. It's just the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Do you think you can get good results recording into preamp tape console and bounce that audio after for mixing? Yeah, of course. It just depends on what you're going for. You know what I mean? If you're going like recording into a preamp, into a tape, I don't know what a tape console is. I don't think that exists, but you would go from preamp to console to tape machine, right? And then you bounce that audio from the tape machine. You can convert it right back to digital, and then mix it in Pro Tools or Logic or whatever. And yeah, a lot of people do that. People do it all the time. There was a process that I was using in school back like fucking 13 years ago or something. It was called the clasp system, right? And I'll show you what that is. It's a clasp. And I don't know if they still have it. Clasp recording system. And basically what this was, yeah, endless analog, right? I didn't even know that it's still a thing. So basically what you're doing with clasp is you would be running through tape machines. So here, just like this, right? So a signal to be recorded, you bus your mics, outputs, your preamps, whatever. You go into the clasp machine. It goes to the tape machine. It comes back through the tape machine, and it monitors through the tape machine. Like, so you're recording and printing through tape. And I think that's pretty cool. I used that in school. Did a bunch of records like that. Clasp machine. It's like, it's a cool idea. But I don't know if it ever really took off. And nowadays, I mean, I can get that kind of sound just by in the box, using the right plugins and manipulating shit. But if you want to do like record to tape 24 track, 2-inch tape machine or something like an Otari or a Studer or something, yeah, print to the tape machine because you want to do like an analog feeling thing. Remember, you're going to get a lot of hiss, tape hiss. You're going to get noise. You're going to get all that from the tape. So if you're doing tape machine recording, you're recording to tape, just know that it's going to sound noisy and old school and vintage and that kind of vibe, right? Yeah, it's not going to sound super modern, if that makes sense. I've been mixing some multi-tracks I found online, and the recordings always have some good pre-mixing on them. Yeah. So a lot of the times, I mean, if you're working with a good producer, I mean, I'm a producer. So like I cut stuff as I want it to sound. Like if I'm going to mic up a guitar or record something, I'm going to record it how I want it to sound. You know what I mean? The plugins at the end of it are really just like to tweak and fit it within the context of everything. And yeah, a lot of it's like sound design. You can see what I'm saying, like even when I am using this. Like this EQ is not a mixing EQ setting, you know? This is like a tone shaping setting. When you see me doing this, it's like, because if I was to record those bongos, which I did not, I would have recorded them so that they had more of that sound, or I would have used different bongos or congas, you know, and I would get more of that sound of the fingers and stuff, and I would mic it that way. But because I did not record it, I'm going to EQ it afterwards and shape it to what works within the mix. That's all we're doing a lot of the times. It's not always like mixing. Sometimes it's just shaping it into what you want it to sound like from the beginning. The bongo and the snare are giving that groove. Yeah, it totally does give some bounce. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's fun, man. Like that's the name of the game, bro. You gotta have fun with this shit. Or why would you do this? You don't do this for a living because you're like, man, I want to be a billionaire. How many musicians that like solely just make music, produce music, record, mix, master, do you know that are like billionaires or like super rich or whatever? Like, I can't name one. You know, I can name artists that like did that and then did other shit. You know, bought real estate, bought sports teams and shit like that, and then became billionaires or deca millionaires or whatever, but not just off music. Music is, you do this shit because you love it, you have a passion for it, you want to make dope shit and put dope shit into the world, you want to be a leader, you want to move culture, you know, you want people to go like, fuck that shit, that made me feel a certain way, that makes me want to dress a certain way. It's like style, it's like a feeling, it's a movement, it's leading people, it's being a leader, it's like showing people shit that's cool, you know? Oh man, you got to check those shoes out, you got to put that shit on, you got to try that hat out, you know? Same thing with music. I got to put you on this shit. Got to put you on this soul shit. Like, think about it. How many kids right now have never heard a soul record ever? They've never heard Marvin Gaye. They never heard an Al Green record. They've never heard any of the funk, soul, disco, any of the shit that we grew up on, you know? Like, that sucks. That's sad. So we get an opportunity to kind of bring that back in a way and bring that life back and show new generations like, yo, this is like what I grew up on. Like, I didn't make this up, you know. James Brown and fucking Sly, you know, Sly and the Family Stone, like stuff like that. Like I grew up on that. I was sampling that shit with MPCs and making beats and stuff from that, listening to all that kind of stuff. And yeah, this is just a way of like bringing people back to that, you know, these things get lost. You want to kind of revive them. That's why I like soul music so much, because it has a feeling to it. And you got real live players playing grooves, you know? It's not super programmed. Yeah, I'm tired of that shit.
Gonna get on up.
All right, let's get a little bit more definition out of this bass. Let's get it like compressed where it's staying really still. Right now, I feel like it's a bit too dynamic. And, you know, it's neither here nor there that it's stereo. This bass is bounced in stereo. Doesn't really fucking matter. But if you want it to be mono, you can just boop, there you go. Now it's mono. But it's not really how it works. But I'm going to just get some compression going on this. 1176 is always going to be my compressor of choice on a bass. Do not don't overthink a bass guitar. I always like a Rev A is always good on a bass. You know, it's a little bit dirtier. It's not as fat as the Rev E, but it has like that distortion and hair on it in the top, the mids and the top. And then if you want something that's like really subtle and kind of has best of both worlds and some other features, you probably want to go with like the anniversary edition, right? So this is kind of like best of all worlds. You got a slow attack if you want, but on bass usually want to go pretty fast. Not that it matters, like 1176 is just fast as shit no matter what. And then on the release, I like to just speed it up a little bit. 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 8-to-1. It's up to you. Pick your poison. I'm going to try to get about 5 to 7 dB of compression on this. I mean, that's magic, baby. Like, just magic, spanky bass stuff, right? And the bass doesn't really need much, It sounds good. It's recorded well. It sounds good. It has like that thickness to it that I like. If I opened up a Pro Q4 and I just kind of tapped in with it, I'd probably want more of that that speaking, the speaking at the 400 area. 400 is like some of my favorite stuff in bass. Just kind of gives you that throaty kind of sound. And you can hear that distortion on that 1176. It's just giving that hair. I like that. People are like, oh, it's distorting. You're clipping it. It sounds clipped. It's like, yeah, cool. I don't give a fuck. Like, what do you think we're doing here? Not making orchestral music for some UK British film that's supposed to be super clean and dynamic. Like, that's not what this is, So fuck off with that shit. Yeah, dude, amen. Amen to this. Music is spiritual. It's like, I think it's different for us, producers, artists, engineers. We hear music differently. I think we experience it differently, obviously. But, to me, it's very spiritual in the sense that it connects with people. It communicates something that nothing else can communicate. Nothing. Not touch, not smell, feel, none of the other senses. Music, even with hearing, you hear and feel differently with the music. It's a different thing, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, JoJo. Feeling that. Let's get it. I'm on electronic. That's another world for me. Yeah, I mean, I've done tons of electronic music. As you can tell, I have like a bunch of fucking analog synths behind me. I do a ton of electronic music. If you use a lot of plugins during the production stage, will you export the tracks from mixing and start with clean channels? No, not necessarily. It depends on where it's going, Like, if there's a problem, like if someone used a bunch of plugins on something and like clipped it out and it's not supposed to be clipped, or I want to start with something clean so that I can do my own clipping, my own distortion, my own feel. But no, like the production stuff is the production stuff. It should be there. I think that's like the sound of your record, right? That's what you're looking for. You're like, I did that on purpose. I printed that on purpose. It's an old school engineering kind of way of thinking. Producer, like old school producer thought process is like, we want shit to be how we want stuff to be. Like this was the initial feeling we had when we were recording or we were producing or we were writing the song, So let's keep that. Let's keep that magic in there, The mixing, the mixing process, this is different, right? Because you guys are seeing me stream a song that I wrote, produced, put all this shit together, arranged, everything. So I'm kind of like mixing as I go, right? And I'm shaping and sonically messing around with stuff as I go. But, that's way different than like, oh, I produced this, but then I'm going to have someone else mix it, or I wrote this song, I'm going to have someone else produce it and then someone mix it and master it, or I'm doing everything myself and I'm trying to break it down into a systematic approach of like writing to production to mixing to mastering. I kind of like put it all together and I do it all at once. And right now I'm really focused on the mix, obviously, but I'm still kind of producing, I'll still go back and produce stuff while I'm mixing on this because I'm like, oh, I need to add a new vocal. I need to take this part out. Maybe I'll try different drums here. Maybe I need to play a different keyboard part here, With this one, I try not to do that because I'm trying to ship it, to be honest. But yeah, it's, you know, you want to put down what you feel. Like when you're recording and you're writing and you're producing a song, you want that sonic palette to be there. You're not going to plug in an electric guitar and be like, yeah, let's just record it DI. Don't put any amp sims on it or anything. Just like put it in and just play it just really raw and bare. Like you're not going to get the feel that you're looking for. So you'll probably DI it in and go like, hey, let's get like a Tweed 55 kind of sound on it. Or, hey, let's do a Milkman Creamer on this. Or, you know, I want this like really distorted, rough, raw kind of thing going on. So let's throw it through like, you know, a different amp or, you know, something that's kind of dirty, vintage, you know, a 30 or whatever. It's like you're always trying to like get that sound and that feeling right away. You're like, that's the inspiration, you know? So, yeah, I'm not always going to be wanting clean stems or anything. I'm going to tuck this part down here and let the drums kind of take this. So I'm going to go like this. And with this kind of music, I'm not going to do ducking and shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to just kind of figure out a good bass line for everything. I'm not trying to EDM this, if that makes sense. So let's go like this. We're using pretty classic mixing techniques here. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to use this Spectral and kind of get rid of some of the chunk down here on the bass.
Seasons are gonna change. Oh, so I'm coming back. Oh, gonna get on up to a brand new day. I'm picking back up. Yeah, I'm on my way. Gonna put a smile back on my face. I know that the season.
So I'm at the point now where I can start to shape the master bus a little bit more, right? Because I feel like everything's pretty cohesive and pretty close. It's just that I want to now like kind of mess around with this stuff, you know? I'm going to actually shape this not so flat. So check this out. I'm going to warm this up a little bit.
Gonna get on up to a brand new day. I'm picking back up. Yeah, I'm on my way. Gonna put a smile back on my face. I know that
All right, it's getting close. I just now need to probably take an ear break, to be honest with you, because now I'm like really like, you know, pulling it all together. And yeah, I feel like just a few things are like just hitting too hard and like getting too aggressive. Like the horns on certain parts are like, oh God, chill out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just this at this point, it's like mix for an hour and a half, take an ear break, mix for an hour and a half, take an ear break, and then like do final little tweaks, make a bounce, listen on different listen on phone and listen, you know, in the car and all that shit. And just like really start to like dial in the little tweaks. You know what I mean? Yeah, but let me say bye to you guys and say what's up to whoever else came through. Yeah, boosting 400 on a bass is like everything, bro. 400, like 300 to like 300 to 600 on a bass, man. It's just like, that's where you get that, you know, that's the woof. That's the, I love that. It's amazing. I have the God Particle. Oh, dude, God Particle is amazing. I love the God Particle. It's so smooth and buttery and fat, you know. It's the best way I can put it. Yeah, sometimes I use Masterplan, not on this kind of vibe. Masterplan for me is a very pop sounding, it's a very pop sounding thing. It also kind of sounds a little too glossy at times. You know what I mean? And aggressive, like super aggressive. So for EDM, it's awesome. For like pop, rap kind of shit, it's amazing, right? Yeah, I like Masterplan. I use it all the time. It's just not on this kind of vibe. Not for me. I think Masterplan is really good on like rock, like indie rock and roll kind of shit that needs to be like aggressive, in your face, you know, that kind of vibe. Thank you, dude. Is the Curve EQ only on the stereo? Yes, the Curves Equator. I love the Curves Equator. It's a very, very cool plugin. Very good for just like cleanup, you know, and also just to give you a different perspective of where your mix is at, right? Like you can put that on and start to like clean it up and go like, oh shit, yeah, I need to go back on my bass or go back on my vocals. They're too, you know, whatever. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it so much. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, everybody. Really cool to see so many people here on a Saturday afternoon. You know, you guys could be out in the sun, you know, drinking margaritas and shit, but you're out here learning with me and just like chilling with me, which is really dope. You have issues with your own vocal. Can you help? I don't know. It just depends on what you're looking for. Yeah, but you guys have a great one. Have a good weekend, and hopefully you got a lot out of the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, right? I got a lot of videos coming for you guys that are hopefully going to be really useful and help you guys out. We got a podcast. We're going to be shooting episode 8 tomorrow, and there's 7 episodes out right now, so go tap in with those. It's called The Music Matters. We talk about AI, music, we talk about music business. We talk about, you know, getting money for your music, all sorts of shit, right? So go check that out for sure. Any tips to better high end in mixes? Yeah, it's hard. High end is hard. You really want to start with good high end. I think that's maybe the key ingredient. If you're coming into this thinking like, oh, I need to use plugins to make my high end work better, then you're already kind of behind the curve, right? Capturing high end well means you have good preamps and conversion. You have good mics that are capturing the high end good, you know, like the instrument itself. Like what high end are you getting from the instrument? Is it like a shitty like Yamaha plasticky kind of sounding guitar and then you're putting a TLM 103 on it? Like you're gonna have shitty high end, you know. You want to make sure that you really just capture good high end. In the vocal especially, right? There's a big difference between capturing a vocal with too much sibilance and that kind of high end and capturing a vocal with a nice clean high end. And that has a lot to do with the performance of the vocalist and the way that you're capturing them, right? So you gotta kind of pay attention and really ear train. Ear training is everything. Learn what good high end sounds like to you and then try to capture it at source. Because trying to get good high end in your mix is like, it's like saying, how do I get my cake to be, to have good, good frosting or whatever, right? You're like, Well, you got to start with good frosting. You got to start with a good flavor. You got to, you're not like in the frosting stage of your cake and going, oh, I need good frosting. It's like, no, the frosting has to be good from the beginning. What kind of cake is it? And like, what are you trying to do? Because everything's it's hard to answer that kind of question, like better high end in mixes. I would say most people put too much high end in their mixes. They overdo it. Thinking that they're making this like clean, big thing, right? And it actually just sounds sterile, lifeless, and really sharp on the ear. So a lot of times my test is to turn it up. And if it hurts your ears, then you need to mess with your high end. You need to maybe do less high end. Still drinking margaritas. That's what's up. Get it. Yeah. You're lacking in high end. Yeah. So if you're lacking in high end, then what I would recommend is go figure out how you can take away some of the low mids, etc. Because a lot of the times it's an imbalance of your mix. It's not that you need more high end and you need to go jack up high end. Sometimes it's just that you need to take down other parts of the mix, and that will reveal the high end more, if that makes sense. Can I explain you somewhere? Yeah, you can send me an email. If you need mixing and mastering, I do offer mixing and mastering. You guys can hire me to mix and master your records. Just send me an email, bradley@radium-media.com. And I have, constantly I have mixes coming in, and I'm working on mixes all the time for other artists, right? And my mixing prices start at $500 a track, and they go up to about $1,000 a track for independent artists only. If you're under a label, we're going to start at like $1,500 and go up to about $2,500. And that really depends on like what needs to be done. So if you're asking me to mix something, and I take your session and I go, this needs a lot more than mixing. This needs melodyne tuning, needs pocketing and timing. It needs, drum editing. It needs vocal editing. It needs, tons of different stuff. Then that's not just mixing, right? Then all of a sudden I'm doing like, additional production and stuff on it. Would you use God Particle and Master Plan together? Yes, absolutely. So what I really like about the God Particle is when you go to the God Particle, which a lot of people don't think about this, and I don't know why they don't think about this, because this is like what I think is special about it. There's two things that I think are really special about it. First of all, you have indicators, which is great because you can't fuck up the gain staging. And if you fuck the gain staging up, it's because you're gain staged somewhere else in your mix that is just off. Something else is clipping, something else is overdriven or underdriven, etc. So you just try to hit within the indicator box. Jason made this really simple for you guys. So hit in the indicator. That's why this is down to 2.8 dB, right? Because I want to hit in the indicator. That's the first thing. Second thing, usually I like to dip a little bit of the mids, right? It depends. Every song's different. But this is the magic right here for me. When you're at 100% here, you're at 50% really. Because this goes up to 200%. 200% is 100% of this. And what this is harmonics. It's going to give you what like tape and tubes do for a mix when you put tapes and tubes, or even just like a nice console sound, like an SSL or Neve being driven. That's what this sounds like. And it's awesome. And then you have other indicators here. You don't have to hit these because this is really like if you're doing a Jason Joshua mix, this is where he's trying to hit. So his mids are here, his low is here, and his highs are here. A lot of people fuck this up. They're like, I got to get inside these indicators for this. That's not necessary, right? A lot of times I'm either over on the mids or I'm under on the low end or over on the low end. I don't worry too much about this. But the biggest thing for me is the limiter. So this is my final limiter, right? So as you can see, and it's the final thing in the chain is this limiter. And the reason it is because this is an adaptive limiter, and I don't know what they did with it, but it just sounds really good. I like it. It doesn't pump. It has like the glue and the kind of vibe I like on a limiter, and it sounds musical to me, right? It's smooth, buttery, and it's just exactly what I want out of a limiter, an adaptive limiter, which means it handles the low end really well. It adapts to your low end, your subwoofer, your 100 hertz, 50 hertz, etc. It adapts to it. So it's not choking it down, if that makes sense, right? You get this nice, clean, punchy low end that's in your face, and it doesn't sound like it's going, you know, it doesn't have a problem with the low end because it's adaptive. And then I always put the output, just me, I put it at negative 0.3 just to give myself some safety. But yeah, that's why I use the God particle for the adaptive limiter and the harmonics for the most part. But that's my answer to that. Use the God particle because it's fucking awesome. So good. It's just musical. It's the best way I could put it is like it's musical. So when you're asking using master plan and that together, I like the master plan for the width knob. I think the width knob is really, really good in the master plan. And the loudness factor, like you can, because it has a clipper built into it. So for example, like if I'm like, dude, I need more loudness out of this, right? I go to master plan and I will go, oops, music hack. I guess I got to look it up. I don't know why it's not finding it. Music hack, master plan. All right, so if I go to master plan, right? I might use this, like the magic part for me on this is take the width up, right? Like check this out. I didn't touch anything else and I'm going to bypass this in and out for you. So you can just hear what it does with the width because the width is really where this shines to me personally. Let's go to like the chorus, I think, right?
I'm stronger and wiser than I've ever been, and I don't worry about the rain. The sun keeps coming, it's shining brighter every day, and I don't worry about the day, yeah, 'cause everything's brand new, with more living on the way. I don't worry about the rain, that sun keeps coming, shining bright.
So that's another thing. When I turn that on, you can hear it got louder. Like if anything, it's perceived loudness, but it has a curve to it right away. So right when I turn it on, it has a curve to it. It's making it louder. And I don't like that. I actually like, that's kind of one of my complaints about master plan is that if I turn it on, I just have it in the signal, it's louder. Why? I didn't turn this up. I didn't do anything, but why is it louder? You know, I don't like that. So, yeah, you got to be careful with master plan because it's made for making shit really loud and, it sounds good. There's nothing wrong with it. It sounds good, but it's its own sound. And I find a lot of the times that it, like I said, it works best with, specific genres, you know, like rock. I use it all the time on rock, classic rock, punk rock, you know, that kind of vibe, like indie rock stuff where you got like heavy guitars in it. Shit works really great with that. Take care, bro, man. Peace, bro. How can I get in contact with you? I just sent you my email, Bradley@Radium. It's right there. Can I hire you to make an artist template? No, I won't do that because that's like a waste of my time. I'm not going to do that. That's cool. You can learn from all my YouTube stuff, but as far as like making a template for you, dude, that is such a long process for me to do that, and I would have to charge you way too much, to be honest with you. Like that's the truth. I just don't do that anymore. I just don't like doing it either. First time here. Hell yeah. What's up, man? I can't even read that, but hello. How are you? What is best speakers for mixing and mastering and producing? My favorite that I use are like in the studio right now, the Dutch and Dutch 8Cs. Fucking love them. They're amazing. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Seriously. That was so nice. Thank you. And you guys, if you want to support the channel, this is what you could do. You can drop a super chat. So when I do these lives, I can make, you know, a couple, you know, 10, 20 bucks. You know what I'm saying? I could buy myself a coffee, you know, when I spend an hour, 2 hours with you guys. Really appreciate that, bro. Seriously. I always see too, like it's good you keep showing up. But what are your thoughts on plugins like Basslane Pro and Sideminder Max series for creating low-end stereo width instead of just monoing low-end? Yeah, so I don't use any of that kind of stuff. If I'm going to stereoize like low-end stuff, there's a really good one, a good plugin from, forget the company name, but use their other. I don't have it installed on this computer. That's why. But yeah, I don't really use stereo bass stuff. I've never liked stereo bass that much. Maybe I might do that with like, I wouldn't say stereo like sub and that kind of stuff, but I might like stereo out like the 500 or like 150 area, like 100 hertz, sort of thing, but not lower than that. Like for me, stereo like sub has never been something that I've really been into. I think it's like a trick to make things sound more like, it kind of tricks your brain into thinking that your mixes sound better when you're just hearing stereo sub, and it's like makes it feel so big, but it just doesn't translate very well to me. Like do that, Beats with Kev, do that, stereo your bass and stuff with a plugin, right? And then listen to it on your cell phone and tell me what happens to your bass, and A/B it. Like, and do it on other stereo, like other speakers and stuff, because what I always find is that I don't get the punch out of the bass. I don't get like that anchor, you know what I mean? That like pinpoint anchor, that feeling of tightness in the bass. All of a sudden everything becomes washed out, and it's like, oh, the mix sounds weird. It might sound really good on, on these guys on some nice headphones, or like on your speakers while you're sitting right in front of them. But once you start listening on other devices where people actually listen to music, it's going to sound weird to them. It's just not going to sound good, especially at the club or somewhere where it's playing live in a big venue or something. It's just going to fall apart. It's not going to sound as cool. So I've never even heard of Basslane Pro or Sideminder Max. So I'll have to check those out, dude. Thanks for putting me on something. Yo, appreciate that, bro. Thank you. See, even $2, man, even $2 is, it goes a long way, you guys. Like, it adds up. It helps me do more content for you guys. That's really the truth. So appreciate the super chat for sure. When does the Serum 2 tutorial drop? Good question, bro. Like, I gotta tap in with Serum 2. I used to use Serum a lot, right? When I was working on the Lego movie, that was like, Serum was massive for that, right? Like we used all that shit like crazy on the Lego movie. But Serum to me was like such a dubstep kind of thing. Nowadays, I think it's more like just found its way into everything. But Serum 2 looks dope. It looks like they added a bunch of really cool features. So I'll tap in with it, and I'll let you know, bro. I'll let you know, because I gotta fuck with it anyway. I gotta see what's hot about it. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Beats with Kev. Yeah, just like make sure you think about the end user and the end goal. Like, what are you mixing for? What are you producing for? Like my records, this record right here that I'm playing for you guys, this record is made for Spotify, bro. Like Spotify streaming. That's what I'm making music for. And most people are, by the way. So when you're making a record, think about where it's landing. Where are you trying to go, I've landed on 4 different Spotify editorial playlists with my music, and I've released about 14 songs. So I've done pretty good with the Spotify stuff. I've hit algorithms, all that shit. Let's see. Right now, I think you guys should all like check out my music. By the way, if you're gonna learn from me and you don't like my music, then you probably shouldn't even be listening to anything I'm saying. But definitely tap in with my music so you can understand kind of where I'm going and where I've been with it. You know what I'm saying? And this is my personal music. So I didn't even start releasing this stuff until just a few years ago. So right now, yeah, I'm at 91,227 monthly listeners, right? But, I've landed on so many Spotify editorials. Evening Commute I'm on right now. Suits LA official playlist I'm on because I have my song Bring Those Good Times Back is in that show. It's the first song, first season, first episode of Suits LA. You should check it out. And then This Is Bradley Deniston, which is a Spotify. I think that's more algorithmic. But yeah, man, I've landed on a lot of different cool stuff and been making music for a long time. But this stuff, my personal project, has been like 3.5, 4 years now. So I release music maybe every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or so. So that's what I'm working on, you guys. So if you don't like my music, you probably shouldn't learn from me. That's what I'm going to say. But if you do like my music, you should be like, hell yeah, I'm going to support it. I'm going to go share it. I'm going to stream it. I'm going to follow you on Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. You know, I'm a fan of all sorts of music and people. It's okay to be a fan. You feel me? Like people have this like weird negative connotation about being a fan nowadays. They're like, nah, man, I want people to be my fan, but I'm not a fan of anybody. You know, it's like, fuck y'all. Y'all need to pull your head out of your ass. You know what I'm saying? Quit being so narcissistic. But yeah, check out the shit and see if you like it even. What are you saying? Your speakers are more expensive than all the music equipment I ever bought. Yeah. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time, bro. Investments. Yeah, these speakers I paid like $18,000, $19,000 for them with taxes and everything. But well worth it. These are like, I'm never going to buy another pair of speakers. So there you go. And I've made my money back on them, believe me. What is your favorite tape machine for add warmth and make the track have life? I like the Studer A800. The UAD one is super sick. I really like the Safari Pedals tape machine. That one's groovy, really fun for like indie shit. What do you got? Do you produce for other artists or just mix and master? Yes, actually I have a whole artist development program. So not only do I produce for artists, I actually partner with them. So I partner with artists, I make 5 songs with them or more. And I personally produce, help them write, co-write. I'll record them even if it's remotely. So I use like audio movers remotely. I'll do vocal production. I'll do mixing, mastering for them, final mix master. I'll show them how to roll out stuff, how to get on playlists, run their ads for them on Meta ads, Instagram ads, run up for algorithmic playlists, you know, and then I pitch for sync licensing with them. So that's how I make my living, is placing music into TV shows, commercials, and film. But yeah, man, if you're interested in that and you want to tap in with that, just let me know. Shoot me an email. Yeah, dude, Lucky You is it. I fucking love Lucky You. It's such a tongue-in-cheek record. Like, I just had fun with it, but I love that one, dude. That one's like one of my favorites. Yeah, man, keep going. Keep going. Keep fucking making music, you guys. Don't ever stop. Just keep making it. And just understand, like, you should never get into any sort of art or creative endeavor and expect to, like, hit these, like, milestones of income and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not why we do it. I didn't start music because I was like, dude, I want to make $1 million. I want to be famous. Like, you get into music because you cannot stop being around it and playing with it and fucking with it. Like, I love it. It's my number one love. Like, I love it more than I love anything else in my life. Besides God, you know, praise Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's like music is my first love. And, you know, I even told my wife, I said, listen, like, you know, before we got married and everything, I'm like, if you ever ask me to stop doing what I love, my passions and what I'm really into, I'm going to leave you before I leave those passions and my dreams. So that's just the way it is. I'm not going to give anybody my passions and dreams. That's my shit. Okay. So like those things were there before my wife, before some of my best friends, before anything else, really. Like, they were my dreams and my music passion. Like, it was that thing that's like my first love, you know? So, yeah, like, just don't give it up. Don't ever give it up. Don't give up what you have inside of you for someone else or for something that you think you want. Because I'll tell you, like, you probably won't even know how to handle it, right? Like, if I came to you and was like, yo, I'm going to give you $500,000, you know, in cash to give up your music dream. A lot of people would be like, hell yeah, I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But let's be real, dude. You give me $500,000, I'm going to give it right back if you're asking me to give up on music and my dreams. Like, I don't give a fuck about music or money, you know? Like, the money thing is like, it's going to come and go. Music, it just like completely like, it's part of you. It evolves. It's your story. It's you're putting yourself out there. You're connecting with people, communicating in a way that nothing else can communicate, right? Money, you spend it, especially if you don't know how to deal with money or finances. Like, you're just going to get rid of it. You're going to buy stuff that you're not going to do much with, you know? A lot of people are like, I'll take $500,000 and I flip it and I'll invest it here. You don't even know how to invest. If you could do that, why don't you do that with $100? Oh, because it's not enough and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, if you can't take $100 and turn it into $1,000 or $10,000, then you're not going to do shit with 500,000 but spend it. So yeah, I don't know why I went on this money tangent thing about 500K, but I don't know where the hell I'm going with that. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I got to get out of here. Love you guys. Thank you so much for showing love and tuning in, and hopefully you learned a bunch. You get a bunch of value out of the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. All right. Show love on the videos. When you see a video, drop a comment, ask a question. I just try to reach more people, communicate more. All right. You guys should too.